Hey everybody, I'm so glad you're taking a little bit of your day to listen to the Tech 5 Radio One Mic Stand. This is Jonathan Kersting with the Pittsburgh Technology Council and Tech 5 Radio. Our storytelling continues. There are too many great, cool companies hanging out in Pittsburgh that I'm making sure we reach out to and get a little bit of their story as they navigate what is, I guess, this new normal, or whatever the heck we're calling it at this point. I don't even know, but either way, Pittsburgh tech companies, they roll up their sleeves and they keep kicking butt. And IQ Inc. is one of those companies. I have Tyler Sechler here with us today. Tyler, thanks for hanging out with us. What's going on with you today?
Not too much. Just doing what you just mentioned, rolling through and moving along to the best of our ability. So
I caught you rolling your sleeves up a few minutes ago, so I know you're actually doing that.
Yeah, I think everybody's had to do a little bit of that lately. So
absolutely. I mean, it's one of these things where obviously, I mean, all this, I mean, just it's taking everybody for a complete loop. But what's been so cool about being able to talk to companies like yours is really just seeing how everyone's been able to find ways to keep moving on. And I know IQ is one of those super nimble companies. I know when Barb started that thing, I think it's more than 25 years ago, that like, you know, this thing's built to last, and it is made to weather things like little pandemic as far as that goes. Before we jump into what you guys are doing, and you guys have done so much work on giving back as well too, which I really want to talk about, which I think is so important. Just give us the little overview of what IQ is all about, just so our listeners and our viewers know what's going on with IQ.
for sure. IQ as a whole, we're a software solutions provider. We provide project solutions. We also do some staffing supplementation for core clients that are all located in and around the Pittsburgh area. I think when all of this happened, we just, like probably every other company in Pittsburgh, what's actually going to happen here? Because there was like that whole period of everybody trying to figure out, like, how's this going to really affect me? Is Pittsburgh going to go into a lockdown?
Right.
And then, the ball started rolling, and I think Pennsylvania, thankfully, was a really proactive state, and, trying to contain everything early on. So I think IQ was right on top of things, and we were lucky that we were in a position to kind of deploy, I guess, on. One of the things that I know Barb placed a lot of emphasis on when starting the company, one of the reasons that IQ came into existence is because Barb was working with a child due, and she needed to work from home, so
she was ahead of her time.
Exactly. Just total.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So,
she's always understood the work-life balance. And so you guys had the remote thing down. And so 100%. Being able to quickly not have to come to work every day became pretty simple for you guys, I would have to assume.
Yeah. We're not a fully remote company, and we're not one that says, yeah, sure, work from home every day. But when you need it, it's definitely an opportunity that we allow our employees. So it was fairly easy for us to kind of mobilize, get set up at home. There were growing pains in the beginning as far as, like organizing meetings and things like that. But really, it was a fairly seamless transition. And then it was just, okay, let's get our arms around how to best handle things now.
Definitely. Oh, yeah.
Do more of, what do we need to do less of?
What are some of the core platforms that you guys have used in order to kind of keep the staff together? Are you guys like on 24/7 Zoom calls like the rest of us, or do you have any other platforms that are working better for you guys?
We use Zoom. We do a lot of our, we use G Suite. So a lot of our scheduling is done through Google Hangouts.
Okay.
And Gmail, and we can just populate each other's calendar, and then everybody can join. For our larger meetings, I think Zoom's a little bit more conducive because it has the big tile layout and things like that. So really, it's kind of echoes to our whole kind of modus operandi getting through all this, whatever works best.
Exactly. Yeah, no, it's kind of like if Mache's going to cut it down. Yes. Whatever's at hand, and get the right tool as far as that is. So as this has been going on, I mean, obviously you're in the middle of projects, you try to keep those projects continuing. And I'm assuming now that, I mean, it seems like so many companies now are going to need your services more than ever as we start getting back, because people are going to be thinking about business optimization. They're going to be thinking about improving things and developing the next level of software. Did you guys see that there's going to be an uptick and a need for what IQ is all about?
Yeah, well, we've been, we were just super lucky, even prior to this, in that our company is tied to critical infrastructure in some of the areas that our clients work in, whether it's transportation, and more obviously medical device companies that we work
Right.
So from a work standpoint, things have been pretty steady along those lines. But as far as what we see moving forward, I think right now things are I don't want to, things are the opposite of status quo, but right now everybody's just kind of trying to maintain workflow and making sure that, you know, what they do have going on isn't interrupted too much. And, you know, and then it's on to, well, there's still so much unknown. So how can we best operate with what's to come? So if that answers.
Absolutely. No, I think you're right on target. That's how so many people are operating right now. And just they keep reacting until you get to the point where you can start being more strategic as far as that goes. But one thing that's been really cool has been so many companies, and especially IQ, they've been stepping up and doing so much charitable work because they see other companies, other people that are in need. Can you tell us about some of the things that IQ's been doing in order to really kind of give back?
Yeah, we, I think fairly early on, you know, everybody started seeing the fallout of this. And I think that really kind of hit its flashpoint once all of the mandated, you know, quarantines and shelter in places started going into effect. Certain people that we're all close to were finding themselves out of work or without a paycheck.
Right.
Circumstances that I don't think anybody was prepared for. You know, so we were lucky enough to still have a job and still be working full time and not need to, you know, have our hours cut, which is one of the great things about, you know, being in this industry. But one of the things that we identified early on is like, hey, we're in a really good spot right now. We have a job. We're collecting a paycheck. We're still Monday to Friday, full time. Let's do something to help, you know, the people around us that just are not in that position because
right.
of them out there. So we kind of sent around an email and chewed it over for a week or so about what can we do. Let's identify some charities. We wanted to affect things that were close to home. We wanted the charities that we were working with to, you know, be in the Pittsburgh area and places to help there. So
our people here, come on, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. So we identified, we chose the Pittsburgh Food Bank, Ronald McDonald House, and what it's called Feed the Spirit, which is
haven't heard of that. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, it's a program run out of Greensburg, so it's a little like closer to our headquarters.
Yeah, you guys are kind of in between there, being out in Monroeville and everything like that.
Yeah, stretch it out, stretch the love out.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, so they do like bag lunches and things like that for people in need. So we initially had said, let's time box it. We'll do, you know, we'll put this out for 3 weeks, and IQ will match donations up to, I think what it was initially like $3,000, and we'll go from there. And as soon as we sent the email out, just, hey, this is what we want to do, even if you can only help out a little bit.
Right.
You have income right now. Just
you hit that 3,000 mark pretty fast, huh?
Yeah, and that 3,000 was like, man, it was so cool to see the people on our team just like go into action and get their friends and family members involved. And so we hit that 3K like lickety split. So Barb's like, hey, keep it rolling.
I like it. Very cool.
Cool. So we kept it rolling, and I think at the end of the day we came in, you know, donation with match just under 12,000.
That's a substantial, bit of money. That's a lot of bag lunches for folks.
It's a lot of food. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was really great. So, and I think just, it was so cool to work with a company and, myself and Denise Jablonski, who's on our staff. We were kind of getting the emails as they came in, and it's like, man, this is awesome. People want to help. And I think anytime you see that happening, it's just, you feel so good about it. It just shows the good nature in people. And
I've just seen so much of that. And that to me has been like one of these things where I'm like, I know how awful it is, but when I see the people like across our industry stepping up and raising significant dollars in contributions to really help people, especially close by, that are in need, to me just goes to show you, man, you can give the middle finger to the pandemic as far as I'm concerned, because we're going to come back and we're going to kick its butt. Simple.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
It's so cool to hear that. Now, one thing that you guys were doing that I thought was so cool, you guys were doing a trivia night for the longest time. It was a cool thing for the tech industry, just to kind of meet up and just kind of build some community. And so I heard you guys are maybe going to try to keep that thing rolling and maybe doing it virtually. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I guess it was a bit over a year ago now, had our first, for those of you that don't know, it's our technical trivia. And it's basically just like come meet IQ and have some fun and maybe a slice of pizza and a beer or whatever else, and
see, I want this again. Come on.
Yeah. But test out your technical knowledge against, like-minded individuals in the same.
I want pizza, beer, and other people to hang out with, and we're in the same room. One of these days.
What more do you want? I know. So basically, it's like a pub-style trivia, and we mix it basically 50-50 with kind of like nerd culture questions and tech questions. So it's a mix of because we don't want you to have to be a
pure geek, right? You can be half a geek if you want to.
Yeah, exactly. So I can answer some of them.
And me too.
Yeah. So we're gonna
programming questions that are
yeah. So we're working on our aim date is June 30th. We want to do a virtual. What we're hoping for, we're using an application, and it's really cool because it automatically scores for you, and
nice.
You can come with your team, and then when the question's asked, you break off and do your own separate
cool
team, so you can discuss it amongst yourselves and then send your answer in.
Right.
But we're really looking forward to it because we usually have the event in Shadyside from 6 to 8 o'clock on Tuesday nights.
Okay.
There are a lot of people that just can't make it, whether they have family obligations.
You get more people virtual, I'm telling you. It's going to the Tech Council, we're getting people to events now that we never got before. So
I know.
It's cool.
So we're really excited for that because, I've talked to people inside and outside of IQ that are just like, man, I really want to make one of these things. Can you do it Thursday? And I'm like, I can't. I'll try.
Awesome. I'm so glad to hear.
So we're pumped.
Up and humming and strumming, and despite all this, still doing things like the trivia night, which I think is just fantastic. Raising money to help feed people locally, doubly awesome. Continue to serve your clients, even though you're working from home like the rest of us, all the way around. That's why we're so glad IQ Inc. is part of Pittsburgh's tech ecosystem. And you guys make us proud. It's freaking kick butt. We love it.
Yeah, for sure. It's something, I think we identified early on that there are going to be changes here, but from a cultural and just from a cultural perspective and an engagement perspective, what can we do to keep our people connected? What kind of things can we do just to make sure that we don't lose that? There's a lot that comes along with walking down the hallway.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just kind of being able to ask whatever question to this person or that person, and maybe you didn't think of that thing until you walk down the hallway, but how do we kind of create that in a virtual environment? So we've been trying to be as creative as possible with that. We still do, like IQ does, we do like a cocktail Thursday, where we stop, the option to stop working at 4 o'clock is there. And if you want to go play games and hang out with your coworkers, that's what we do. That's still going on. We're doing that via Zoom now, and other stuff. So
all the way around, it goes to show you, man, you guys keep trucking ahead. I love it. Tyler, thanks for hanging out with us today. What a great story. I'm so excited to get this out. Let everyone see IQ's doing some great stuff.
Awesome. Thank you, Jonathan, and best of luck to the PTC.
Excellent.
All right.